When I first started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I sucked at guard. Eventually, I started working with my coaches, Luigi Mondelli and 11-time world champion Rafael Formiga Barbosa, who eventually became my main coach, and we started working on half guard. For some reason, the concept of deep half guard became like my get out of jail free card. Anytime I was in trouble on the ground, if I could get deep half guard, I was out. Later, these principles started showing up everywhere, from escapes to takedowns to guard sweeps. So today's lesson, today's deep dive is all into the deep half guard concept. Sometimes we actually will call it in Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, Yoko Guruma. So we're gonna have a little fun with that today. The deep half, from setting up for guard sweeps, takedowns, as well as escapes. Let's have some fun, dive it in. When I first started learning the concepts of deep half, it was actually me getting taken down from deep half, and we would call this technique in Japanese Jiu-Jitsu Yoko Guruma. What I would love to do when I was rolling or looking for takedowns, I love overhook control or whizzer, where I'm looking for uchimanas, harais, snap downs, all that. I'm a little taller than most people. I'm only 6'2", but typically I'm a little taller. So I was like very dominant with my overhook. Shion Russ St. Hilaire, my Japanese Jiu-Jitsu coach, would always Yoko Guruma me, which is basically a deep half takedown. So say Johnny's got that nice strong overhook, he's doing a good job beating me down. I'm gonna take my right arm and my right leg, and I'm gonna swing it through the hole. As I swing it through the hole, I'm gonna go fall on my hip, and my right arm is gonna kind of catch underneath Johnny's knee. So we slide, whoop, and we end up on top. So let's look at that again. I have an underhook, well, I actually have a side clinch, all right? And Johnny's working that overhook, and that pressure is almost driving me down. You have to commit to this. And this is where the deep half principle comes in, where one leg and one arm are gonna go through the hole, and my ear starts to get pretty close to his belly. Then it's very easy to disappear underneath him, because really, I just end up fighting this leg. Want to make sure that this leg is also on the outside, and for you guys out there, be careful your nuts on the way down. Sometimes you get a little caught. So I slide through and easily get on top. One more time. From this perspective, I'm here, I'm fighting that, he's fighting that whizzer. I'm trying to stay strong and I can't, so I just disappear. And right into our Yoko Guruma takedown. Guys, we started something very exciting at TriTac. We are now doing monthly 3-day live workshops, live virtual workshops. So you get a chance to interact with me, our coaches, and we're gonna go over a deep dive into the TriTac combative system, how everything works. It's a very unique thing that we started doing last month, and we absolutely love this. So if you guys wanna get more involved with TriTac, check out our 3-day live events. Go to tritacmartialarts.com and you'll see it there. We did the deep half or Yoko Guruma standing. Let's apply it to the ground. And I'm gonna start an attacking principle where I'm gonna start a knee shield half guard and then attack my deep half. Later, we'll talk about some defensive tools. And it was really cool. I got to watch, this weekend or last weekend, it was Bryce Mitchell versus one of the Nurmagomedovs. I'm horrible at pronunciations, but at the end of the first round, Bryce Mitchell hit a beautiful deep half escape to a get up, so we're gonna work on that a little later too. So first, I'm in a knee shield half guard, and if you guys are new to guard play or jiu-jitsu, this arguably is one of the most powerful positions you can use in guard. It is great for self-defense, great for MMA, and great for sport. I don't want to stay down here if I'm in pure street combat, but if I had to have one guard that gave me the most flexibility and mobility, it would be my knee shield half guard. So first, what I need to do is get underneath Johnny. I'm going to use my top leg, my left leg, to kick through and bring my ear to his belly button and get my left arm behind his glute, all right? Now, my arms are gonna make a gable grip and they're gonna follow the path of my leg, okay? When I'm here, you already see Johnny's posture going down. I am gonna push a little bit off his foot and rock him back. Now maybe this was enough for me to maybe come on top, but a lot of times not. I do not want to be too exposed here. Like, I don't want to have my head out of the hole or my head too far over. I want to be hovering right around that belly button line because he will try to attack a choke. Now, my right arm, similar to our Yoko Guruma, is going to go underneath his leg. Now the hard part. I need to get my hips and my knees to face over there. I can't muscle this. I like to think about, there's two ways to do it. I'll show you the first one. I think about hipping up a little bit so my right leg kind of catches Johnny and starts bringing him that way, and then we switch out the back door. Now, of course, I could take his back or just use it as an escape, but this principle is one of my favorites because I said earlier, it is my get out of jail free card. Anytime I'm getting past or in trouble, if I could get on a leg, just one leg, and hide my head on my right. So I rock him back, check the knee. Now, the other way I can use it, let's say I'm a little weaker, I make the legs long, and I can use my other hand in his armpit to push him up, switch, then come out the back door. So yes, my coaches actually taught me a lot about deep half, but I think one of the best the best deep half player in the world is Jeff Glover, and he had an awesome series way back in the day just on deep half guard, and I must have watched that thing 100 times. It's like my Bible, and a lot of these principles you can find from Jeff. You can follow him wherever, but the deep half is just fucking cool. Now, the entry is where some students get a little confused. I want to kick this leg through and go to like an S leg. So watch my left leg. See how I'm like making this S leg thing? That gets my hips in, like allows me to come up properly. If I just kept this leg here, I get jammed. So now I'm S-legged. I got my grip, but now I need to activate my foot again. So while it's here, I activate, bump, check, work my hips to the other side. Now here, depending on my opponent, I might be able to come out, or we start settling into a traditional deep half guard, and that's a whole other topic. Right now, we're just kind of talking about the entries and getting out of it, but this would be like either hands here or hand here would be our traditional deep half guard. But when we want to finish, one of the easiest ways, if I see his hands on the ground, we go out the back door. So say if I was hanging out in deep half, and I was able to get my opponent's hands on the ground, I think I'm punching forward with my top arm, and my left hand is going to catch his instep as I release my legs. Punch, catch. See, I've got this foot down here. Now I'm out the back door. We start shelving that leg and chaining to the back. Okay, so I talked about deep half as my get out of jail free card, and let's look at briefly the Bryce Mitchell and Nurmagomedov escape. Put it in right now. Okay, so Bryce used it to get up. All right, you saw some of the principles we were talking about, getting his hand between the legs, and he ended up coming in a dogfight position. But what was cool about it, he was flattened out and had a body lock here, right? Now, Nurmagomedov was trying to posture up and drop an elbow. As he dropped that elbow, he hid underneath, and Bryce got this leg, his arm through the leg. Now, he wasn't able to rock him over, but what he did use is this wedge to start battling up. Come up with me, start standing up. And he used it as a way to get back to his feet. So sometimes the deep half not necessarily turns into a sweep, but just an escape. And it's really cool if I hide my head and get lower. It's very hard for someone to really get those big punches off, those big shots off. The thought process is we're fighting this part of the body, not all this. So when you're flattened out, let's come over again. You know, even just from a grappling perspective, if I was flattened out, if I can get this underneath and start hiking up, I can then have an opportunity to get to a deep half guard like we were working before, punching out and getting back up. This is absolutely, purely my get out of jail free card. Anytime I'm mounted, in fact, I almost find it easier to escape mount than I do side control because of this technique. If you watch a lot of my students, we were just talking right before we hit play or record, that a lot of these guys use exact same technique because it's so easy. All right, so Johnny has mount. And when we're in mount, guys, if I'm flat on my back, I'm fucked. elbows, punches, submissions, it doesn't matter, I've got a problem. So I wanna try to get on a hip. What I'm gonna do is start walking my feet up. As I walk my feet up, I try to bump a little bit and turn. Says knee came up, yeah. Whether he gets completely low or gets his hands on the mat, excuse me, or not, see this leg right here? I was able to catch it just a little bit. And now I have my initial setup. So look at that again. This is very, very important. I'm flattened out, okay? Before he starts climbing up into my elbows and really causing a problem for me. Now it's a whole other game. So I have to be aware, you know, like when I get mounted, I'm forcing him down, keeping it towards my hip. Now I walk that hip, and I jam up. Sometimes I don't even need to use my hand. I'm gonna snag that leg. Great. I'm not out of a bad position yet. I have the staging. So, next most important move. I have to get this leg off the ground, or his knee off the ground. So I think about pinching and scooting, okay? Now, I got this little pocket. Arm slides through the hole, bump, and look where we are again. We're back in that similar deep path escape that just fucking works. Plain and simple. Again, so he's a mount. I'm bumping, framing, getting on a hip, shielding, okay? Because I don't want him getting like a gift wrap. Gift wrap. Yeah, if he gets gift wrap or starts doing other things, I'd have a hard time escaping. So I'm protecting. Once I bump, get that shelved, little wave, come underneath, punch up, and I'm out the back door. Guys, if you like this deep path video, you like this Yoko Guruma concepts, I would love for you to like this video, leave a comment, ask a question, subscribe. We appreciate your feedback. We appreciate your interaction. You know how much I love you guys on YouTube. So thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.